We're live. Well, I'm really glad they tell us when we're live.
I told y'all we would be back. I told you.
Hey, Che.
Were you worried?
Trevor.
Okay, listen, some people.
Che and Trevor.
Yes.
We're live.
We're live.
Hold on, Glenn. Well, thank you for telling us that we're live now. I mean, after we were doing
and
the
we
dance.
found our host. We found other hosts. We found the host.
All the way from New York, New York.
They're so nice. They named it what?
Named it twice. She came in and she's ready, popping to go. Now, hold on, Trevor. There's some folks that are here.
Right. For those people who are watching right now, do us a favor because there's some people who didn't realize what happened. They didn't realize the complete shift. Type in the feed. Everybody, just do it one time so it's like a sound that's heard around the world. Type in a "they're back." Refresh your browser. Type in "they're back." Don't forget the exclamation mark. You got to get punctuation. They're back. Refresh your browser. They're back. Refresh your browser. Go ahead and do that right now. And Shay, why don't we go ahead and shout out? Shay, who's coming to the feed?
Paulette Stevens said, "Hallelujah." Well, hallelujah. Hey, we're back. Absolutely.
Tell her church was Sunday.
Tell
her church was Sunday.
Every day.
I'm gonna welcome Angela Harris for the first time. Welcome in. Linda Jeffcoat, welcome in as well. Carol's joining us for the very first time, by the way. Carol, let us know where you're from. Natasha Johnson Samuel.
Now you gotta watch Shay. See,
I'm reading this.
Shay will jack up a name.
Dr. Katrina Hunter, thank you for saying they're back. Refresh your browser. Julia Tanya Bennett is welcoming for the first time. Julia, I can't get that one. Jennifer Trailer. You guess Eva. Fluker is back. Welcome back. Dee Trebe, for the first time, is joining us, Trevor. They're following the Facebook. Tamika Wolfer says, they're back. Refresh your browser. Charles Peter Comer says, we're live. Yay. Karen Bowler made it for the first time. Ramona Foster, welcome. First time out of Washington, D.C. Cheryl Nakimba Patrick, welcome. I'm not going to get to everybody. Because now they're joining. Hold on, but I got to give a shout out to Andrew Grant. I got to say hello to Andrew Grant.
That's my husband.
See, that's your husband? See, there he is right there. Andrew Grant.
You better move over a couple of feet, brother.
Wait.
You better stand back.
Andrew said, that one person, I've been trying to get on. You're now
stand a little close to her. You stand a little close. Don't worry, Andrew. We are her bodyguards. We just protecting her.
That's right. Thank you for sharing her today.
Well, I'm just too excited to have Les call in. He's on the way to St. Martin. You know, I'm a little jealous because I'd like to be on the sand and the sunny beaches. But to have him inspire us this morning and to tell us what we're doing, Voices of Hope. We don't know whose lives we're saving today because you're tuning in, you're sharing it with other people. There's still time for you to join 24 Hours of Motivation. Just go to www.24hoursofmotivation.com. You don't have a clue as to what's in store. This Les Brown Platinum speakers, our special guest speakers that are here. You have the one and only Che and Trevor. You all need to go ahead and just get that as a licensed name because you are a powerhouse team.
Right. I want to change it. I want to make it
Trevor and Che. The name is just fine. The name is just fine. Teresa Thomas, welcome for the first time. So, Trevor, why don't you tell them what's coming up? Don Strigel, welcome for the first time as well.
We got to give the new people some rules, Shay, because, by the way, Shay, the big message just went out. Okay. They just coming in. Okay, for those people who are joining us for the first time, you want to know where the action is happening. You want to know where all the people are talking. You want to be able to chat with Les Brown and some of our other secret speakers that we have coming on tonight. I didn't tell you all of the featured speakers tonight, but we have some powerhouses in the house tonight. And so here's what you got to do. First of all, you open up a separate tab on your browser. Hopefully you're using a modern browser because that's the best way to experience this, Google Chrome or Firefox. We recommend that, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to open up a separate tab. Why? Because it's going to allow you to, one, have a tab open with the video so you can hear it, but another tab where you can conversate with the powerhouses. And where do you conversate at? You conversate in our private, elusive, exclusive Facebook group. Now, how do you get into our private, elusive, exclusive Facebook group? Well, here's what you got to do. You open up that separate tab, and then you go to Facebook.com. And when you get to Facebook.com, you go to the top left-hand corner. You're going to see the Facebook icon is going to be in a blue box, and the F is going to be in white. But right next to that is going to be a rectangular box. And in that rectangular box, you're going to type in these words, Shay and Trevor. That's CHEANDTREVOR. No spaces. Just type in Shay and Trevor, and it's going to, just like that, bring up our private, elusive, exclusive Facebook group. And when you get there, all you're going to do is hit join, and we're going to welcome you in. We're looking forward. Now, when you get there, there's some instructions. First, you got to join the private, elusive, exclusive Facebook group. But when you get there, you got to tell us your first name. You got to tell us your last name. You got to tell us where you're from. Maybe you're from Texas. Maybe you're from Prince George's County, Maryland, like Trevor Ice. Maybe you're from Washington, D.C. Maybe you're from New York. But tell us where you're from. But last but not least, tell us the product, the service, the mission, the organization, or the business that you represent. We want to know who you are. This is our virtual networking lounge. Meet somebody that you didn't know before. But go ahead and do it right now. We're going to start shouting people out. We're going to, hey, Shay, somebody probably just followed the instructions. Somebody did it. I believe that they did
Someone
it.
just said, we're on fire. I'm trying to get back to it. They said they're back. Sally Tyson says they're back. Hi, everyone. Someone's calling from Juno Beach, Florida.
Ooh, how's it
Mary
going?
Beth Harum, her very first time. She says, welcome aboard as well. Murray Ann Harris, welcome aboard with the Women's Veteran Business Center. They're here. They're sharing it out with the center.
Women's Veteran Business Center.
Women's Veteran Business Center. They're sharing it out with their network as well so they can be part of 24 hours
Why
of
don't everybody
motivation.
just share it out with their network? Just go on your personal
You know
Facebook
what?
page.
You know,
just
it
share it out.
is open to the public. Today's open to the public. Take the link and share it out with everyone.
But you know, one thing they can do, Shay, if they're watching it live right now, right above the video, you see, right on the right-hand side of the video, you see a Facebook icon and you see a Twitter icon. You see it. And if you just hit that button, if you just hit the Facebook icon above the video or the Twitter icon, or both. You can hit both. You can hit both of them. If you hit it, it'll automatically let you share this to your personal Facebook pages, your personal Twitter pages, and it'll automatically add the link to this video live, and all you gotta do is just add a few words. So go ahead, everybody, just share it out
And
right
Trevor,
now.
I know the next speaker is in the queue. Javon Gordon says he's here. He's on the way.
But
John,
you
he's,
gotta get it right now. It's Javon, keep it elite Gordon.
his government name is Javon Gordon.
Government
That's the one to pay check. Trevor, the next speaker is ready. I mean, the best is still yet to come. They think they got some stuff yet, but there's more to come. We ready for the next one?
Now, you know who this is, Shay. He's known by the hashtag BBBB. He's like a bumblebee, but he's known for Bow Tie Brother bringing brilliance, right? Bow Tie Brother bringing brilliance. 4 B's, right, Shay?
What about this Mario Price?
Right. No, he's not Mario Price. It's Bow Tie Brother bringing brilliance.
It says Mario Price. Are you looking? Can you see up there? It says Mario
But Shay,
Price.
it's missing the B. There was a fifth
I'm
B.
looking there. It says Mario Price.
It says that, Shay, but it was a 5th B added the other day
Okay, what's
by the
that?
Billionaire Mastermind for him. It's now Billionaire Bow Tie Brother bringing brilliance. So now it's like 5 B's, but it's like, bumblebee. It's like just a bunch of B's.
Well, that's
And I bet you got a bow tie. How much do you bet he got a bow tie? I bet you $1 here's a bow tie.
Okay, let's bet. I bet. Let's give him one.
What-
And
I'm gonna
60
get a
seconds coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie and them said hello. They're glad you're here. They said you got a lady up there with you guys this time. Oh, she got a husband though. She got a husband now. She got a husband. Okay, Trevor, let's bring him up. We've got.
Shay, let's give him a digital applause before we come to the stage. Everybody say, just type in the feed, go Bow Tie Brother. Just type in the feed, go Bow Tie Brother.
Okay, go Bow Tie Brother. With that being said, I believe he's mic'd up. I believe he's queued up. He's ready. He's in the queue.
I hope his mic is
Let's
on.
go!
Guys, get off. It is
No,
all your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Make it
much.
happen.
That's bow tie.
Look at that bow tie,
One,
brother.
two,
That's one of
How
those
you
special bow
doing?
ties. Look at that.
Great to see you. Thanks for
Ain't no
being
regular
here.
bow tie, Shay. You see, that's one of those ones with the little point. Look at that bow tie. Go give me a bow tie. I'm going to buy me one right now.
All right, it's all
Come on, let's go to
yours,
Walmart.
But I'm
Let's get me a bow
excited.
tie.
I'm excited. I put on a red bow tie today. People think I put it on because I'm a Kappa, but I put it on
That's a
today.
good reason. That's a good reason to put it
But
on.
I put it on today for Mamie Brown's baby boy, because I know he always wears red. And I said, let me put on something special in honor and in tribute of being on this wonderful platform with the great Les Brown. I'm excited to be here today. We had Shay, we had Trevor, we had Stacy, NC Grant. What an opportunity here. But you know what today it is? Guess what day it is? All night long I heard Hump Day. It's New Year's Day. It is New Year's Day, and so I'm excited today to come here and talk to you about believing much bigger, much sooner. Believing much bigger, much sooner. We're in 2014, and we've got 365 unmarked days on the calendar to write out our playbook for the year. So as I mentioned, my name is Mario Price, the Bow Tie Brother bringing brilliance, and I'm excited. Hashtag BBBB. But you're wondering, who is this guy? And actually, the name is Mario T. Price, Esquire. That's right, I'm a Georgetown-trained attorney. I worked on Wall Street for 10 years. I had a great, voluminous career and did all kinds of things, but that sounds real nice. But up until a few years ago, I was suffering from a terminal illness. I had a chronic illness. I was suffering from what they call tuberculosis. I had a condition called tuberculosis. See, what do you call a person that makes 6 figures in income, but has to pay off 2 mortgages, has credit card debt, has law school debt, has private school. At the end of the month, you call that person broke. Yeah, I was suffering from tuberculosis. You might know what I'm talking about. But then a law school classmate of mine called me up after months to look at a plan B, And I'm excited that after a few years of doing it, I've gotten a cure for my time broculosis. See, I used to work 60 to 80 hours a week just to make even. Then I had money broculosis, because when I didn't have the clients coming in, I was looking for the next dollar. So I'm excited, and I got so motivated about being cured from my tuberculosis that I wrote a book called Part-Time Magic. It was the #1 seller on Amazon. You can go get it. Part-Time Magic, 7 steps for increasing your worth while decreasing your work. Because I said, you know what? There's probably other people suffering from that. But my story is real simple. See, I had what they call immense potential. Immense potential. See, when I was just a young acorn, I was 12, 13, I was a precocious youth. I was the one who did extremely well in academic studies. I had immense potential. They said, this person is going to do some phenomenal things. Now, when you're 16, when you're 15, when you're 12, and they say you've got immense potential, that is a compliment. But then you get a little bit older. You go from being that green acorn to being a nice red acorn. And they say, okay, you're about 25 now. You should start to show some promise of that. You start to show some fruit of that. There should be some benefit from that. I mean, you got all the best school stores. You got all the best jobs. You had all these different things, but there's nothing manifesting itself in that immense potential. And then by the time you get 35, 45, immense potential becomes an indictment. You go from being someone that has a place of hope and promise to being this epitaph of what could have been. No sadder words to paper and pen than those of what could have been. That was my story for a long time. But then I found an extremely powerful place once I started working on myself. See, I was big into making compromise and chasing life for a penny. If you chase life for a penny, it'll give you exactly what you bargained for. However, at evening, you'll count your scanty store, for life's a just employer. It'll pay you what you ask. But once you set the wage, why, you must bear the task. See, the funny thing about bargaining life for a penny, whatever you ask of life, life will definitely give you. So, 2013 is in the rearview mirror. Goodbye, 2013. Goodbye, 2013. The question I want to know is, how'd you do? See, 365 days ago, we were at the place where we are now. We set goals, we set objectives, we set directions, we set all these different things about what was going to happen in 2013. 2013, that was the 14th year of the new millennia. See, we had 2000 to 2001. That was 1. So most people forget to count the 0. See, that was the 14th year. That was the completion of those 7 years of famine. We'll come back to that in a second. But 2013, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was an age of wisdom. It was an age of foolishness. It was an epoch of belief. It was an epoch of credulity. It was a spring of hope. It was a winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were headed straightway to that heaven. We were headed directly to the other place. See, 2013 was a period that looks much like this one. See, 2013 had mountains and valleys for myself personally. I wrote my first book, had my first book published. I wrote my second book. I had some amazing things. I was able to speak all over the country and do some phenomenal things in 2013. I gave birth to an infant son, my second son. And then I had the valley of 2013, where I sat by his bedside for 8 weeks every day at the NICU unit of Children's Hospital until finally he gave way and returned back to the original sender. It was a year where there were strains on personal relationships. It was a year where I developed some great bonds. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. But what I want to know is, did you get what you wanted in 2013? See, I know a lot of you started this year saying, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make 6 figures in residual income. I want to be the real estate mogul out there. I want to have this new business launch. I want to lose 20 pounds. Hey, you know, in 2013, I lost 20 pounds. That's right. I lost it and I kept it off. A lot of you guys set out to do some things that you wanted, but you don't get what you want. I mean, in 2013, I'm sure some of you wanted to be a millionaire. You probably wanted to be a millionaire in 2012, in 2011, in 2010. See, wanting has nothing to do with getting. Wanting has nothing to do with getting. Actually, you don't get what you want, you get what you expect. What did you picture for yourself? What did you envision? Because really the reality is that we usually just set the bar low. I think Nelson Mandela, the great Nelson Mandela, says there's nothing to be gained in settling for less than what you're capable of doing. And that's what we do. We picture, we have an envision, we have an expectation of being able to hurdle over that lower bar. And that's what we picture, and guess what? That's what we get. But like the camel on NBC said last night, guess what day it is? It's hump day. It's a new day. It's a Wednesday, January 1st. The odometer has rolled over. See, odometer rolling is always a pretty powerful thing. I remember a YouTube video I saw recently about this young couple. This young guy is about 15 years old. He was a poet. He was at this big Poet Slam event. And he was talking about his parents. He has 2 parents. He's co-parented by 2 ladies out in San Francisco. And he was talking about how they did every momentous event in their car. How every monumental milestone they had in their car. They had this 20-year-old beat-up Honda that they loved to death. And they were in their car, and they were going through a period of turmoil in their relationship. So he could hear the arguing through the walls. He could hear the different things, letting them know that things weren't going well. And it got real quiet around this time. And then one of the ladies came on and says, everybody, let's go. Let's get in the car. And they got in the car. They're driving down the freeway. And she says, I just want to let you know that the odometer is at 99,987 miles. And the kid's thinking to himself, well, that's a strange way to break up the family, because that's what he's expecting. He says, this is at 99,987 miles. He said, and we've been a family for 20 years. We've had you in our lives for the last 15 years. And I wanted this significant moment to happen together. We're at 99,995 miles, 99,996 miles, 97 miles, 98 miles. He says, now let's all hold hands together as the odometer rolls over to the 100,000 mark. So you know what that means when the odometer rolls over. So in 2014, the odometer has rolled over. So what does that mean? What should we expect? See, when 2000 came, I remember I was living in New York at the time, working on Wall Street. When 2000 came, we were all poised for the worst. Remember that thing, Y2K? The beginning of the 3rd millennium was going to be the end of the world as we know it. But I'm reminded of something that happened in the book of Genesis, the 41st chapter, when Pharaoh had a dream. He had a dream of 7 cows coming out of the Nile River, fat, plump, good-looking cows, followed by 7 gaunt, thin, ugly cows. And the 7 thin cows ate up the 7 fat cows. And then there was 7 ears of stalk, big fat ears of corn. And then 7 of the skinniest, raggediest corns came up, and it consumed it. And he wanted to know what it meant. So he called on the great dreamer, Joseph, and says, they finally got to him and says, what does this dream mean? He says the first 7 years are going to be a year of feast, followed by 7 years of famine. Don't you know between 2000 and 2006, we saw some of the greatest gains in the stock market? Between 2000 and 2006, we saw some of the greatest gains in the housing and industry and all these different things. But then from 2007, the skinny cows ate the fat cows. We had 7 years of feast consumed by 7 years of famine. Don't you remember the election of 2008 where Barack Obama was elected came because of the economy, the bailout? Those 7 years of famine consumed 8 years of the administration that preceded it, and the whole election turned because of that. Well, I got good news. We're in 2014, the 15th year of this millennia. And you know what that means? It means that we're past the famine and we're into a jubilee. It's a double portion. It's 7 times 2. So I just want to know who's ready for a double portion. I mean, I could use a double portion, so who's ready for a double portion? So let's talk a little bit moving forward about what it is you want. See, everybody gets here and they set these resolutions. They set the resolutions. I think the top 5 or 6 resolutions are, I want to have a better lifestyle, better time with family. I'd like to lose weight, get fit. They say, I'd like to get my money right, get rid of debt. Increase my savings. A lot of people want to quit drinking or smoking, and some people just want to help others. We all have these resolutions that we want to make, and a lot of these things we make are geared towards success. I mean, everybody who wants to be a millionaire. We had a big mega lottery last week, $500 billion. Huge lot, $500 million. Huge lottery. Everybody wants to have success, but I think it's Augustine that says, what difference would you make in life? What was your impact on the world? See, we need to figure out a way to go from success to significance. To go from success to significance. So let's just talk about what's needed in this thing. See, what's needed in 2014, a lot of people think that you need to have faith like a mustard seed. I've heard that before. I read in the Bible once. You've got to have faith the size of a mustard seed. It says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. It talks about how important faith is. In fact, Hebrews 11 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. Things unseen. Things unseen. If you can't see it, if it hasn't been done before, then you need faith. Well, I got bad news for you, faith believers out there. You don't actually need faith to see something that's already been done. So if you say you want to make $1 million in your business, has anyone ever done that before? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. So you don't need faith to do that. If you want to say, I'd like to have a downline of 50,000 people and I have 200,000 customers on auto ship. Well, I'm sure it's been done before. If you want to make $1 million a month, it's been done before. If you want to make $1 billion, it's been done before. You don't need faith. What you need is to believe. See, when I look at the trapeze artists, they're out there. There's a place of suspension where she's not connected to the bar or to her partner. She's not leaping out on faith. She's leaping out on belief. She knows that he will be there to catch her. She knows that it's going to happen. See, the thing about the difference between faith and belief, see, when we go through going back to that book of Hebrews, where we talk about these great pillars of faith, they talk about Abraham. They talk about Noah. They talk about Enoch. They talk about all these great people who were doing things that at that point in time had never been done before. See, when they came to Abraham, they said, Abraham, you and your wife, all 90 years of you and 75 years of her are going to have a baby. It ain't never been done before. I mean, she was done. They dried up. Everything's done. It's over. It's never been done before. So they needed to have faith. They said, no, it's going to rain and it's going to flood the world and everything. Well, at the time, they didn't have downward precipitation. There was no rain. He needed faith to see that. Mary, the virgin birth, she needed faith to appreciate that. So all these things they talk about required accomplishing things that had not yet been done. See, here's how pervasive belief is, just so you understand the difference. It says, if you believe in your heart without doubt, anything you want, you shall get. That's Mark 11. Believe in your heart without doubt, you shall receive it. In fact, there's another story in Luke 2 where a guy named Zechariah, he was a high priest at the time. He's the father of John the Baptist. He and his wife Elizabeth had John the Baptist. But at the time that he got the news, he was in doing the ceremonial burnings and everything. They drew his name, and the archangel, don't want to insult an angel by calling him an archangel, by calling him an angel. The archangel Gabriel came and appeared to him and says, you are going to give birth. And he says, what? I can't believe that. In my old age? Because he didn't believe. See, it had already been done before. He was a priest. He knew the law. He knew about Abraham and Sarah. So he didn't have to have faith. He had to have belief. But because he did not believe, he was rendered dumbstruck. He couldn't speak until John came out. See, See, there's a big difference between faith and belief. Now, how do you muster up some belief? Well, one of the things that's real interesting, I love this image, because, see, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. See, we all know the story about Dorothy. We all know about Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. She went through this whole myriad of things just to get to the fake wizard, and then Glinda said, look, if you want to go home, just click your heels. Well, here's the problem with the story. She had the red shoes on from the moment she got to Oz. What you need is in your hands. People always wonder why Moses held a staff to part the Red Sea. He had a staff because he was a shepherd. That wasn't in his hand. They said, well, why did David use a slingshot? Because that's what he had in his hand. Why did Rambo have an AK-47? Well, it was a movie, but he used what he had in his hand. What's in your hand? I mean, what do you have available to you to accomplish whatever it is that you're hoping for in 2014? So let's talk about this little piece about going from faith to belief. From faith to belief. See, and I'll talk through this chart a little bit. It goes, there's a spectrum going from faith to belief, separated between things that we do that are easy to do and things that are easy not to do. See, on the left-hand side of this thing, we've got philosophy. That's our program, and that's what we were taught. That's what we believe. That's our deep-rooted belief system. And that belief system leads to our attitude. That attitude leads to our actions. Those actions create results, which create a lifestyle. And it's a culmination of actions upon action upon action, which will give you the life that you have. And the funny thing about those actions is that it's really easy to do, but it's really easy not to do. See, I didn't lose weight because I had gastric bypass surgery. I just ate a little bit less every day. I mean, I ate a little bit less every day. I walked a little bit more. And the first month, I didn't lose nothing. I lost 2 pounds. I was a little bit ticked off because I was missing some good meals and I was up working out early in the morning. But then the second month, it had an accelerated pace. And the third month, it just went off. It's called the compound effect. See, that chart that we just looked at was put up by Jeff Olson. It was created by Jeff Olson in the Slight Edge. It's recreated by Darren Hardy and the compound effect. It's the compound effect of our thought process leading up to certain things. But here's what people get kind of messed up on this, see, because our actions are really, our philosophy didn't drive our attitude because, see, we're 20 years old, we're 30 years old, we're 40, 50. Everything is kind of built in there. And everything that leads to our attitude and our philosophy is all predicated on something that we did. I actually think the chart looks a little bit better like this. If you turn it sideways, it looks a little bit like a tree. And if you put the line across it, that's where the grass is, and it goes up and down. See, actions, everything you do is predicated, everything you feel and think about is predicated by something you did in the first place. See, your actions repeated over time become a habit. That habit starts to deeply root inside of you, and it shapes and forms your philosophy and your attitude. And the thing about it is that you're doing stuff, like we all have kids. We've seen kids where you tell a kid to do something, and it's not based on, they're not going to do it because how they feel. They're going to do it because you told them to. And if they do it long enough, it starts to have a feeling, and it creates a philosophy, and it creates the attitude. So think about this. Your philosophy, your programming, your attitude, that's the roots. The results, the lifestyle, be it in your finances, your health, your income, your relationships, that's the fruit. And if anybody knows anything about roots and fruit, first you plant a seed and get nothing. And then you water it and you get nothing. And then you put some sunshine on it and you get nothing. And you got a whole lot of doing with nothing showing. And before you get the fruit, the stuff that you can't see beneath the green line, you're developing the roots. And the thing about it is this. Doubt creeps in. See, we talk about feelings. Think about a person who planted a Chinese bamboo tree. It takes 5 years for it to manifest a single sprout. You have to water and nurture it 5 years before anything happens. And the thing about it is that when you're doing something, when you're working towards something, when you're laboring towards something, and you can't see any results, if you stop moving, a thing comes in called doubt, called fear, called anxiety, called inadequacy, called why me, called all kinds of things. Doubt takes you out of action, but action takes you out of doubt. See, so you've got to get into a place where you're doing action to develop the roots to get the fruit that you want. Now, I'll give you a quick game plan, and then we'll turn around and come on home from there. So, here's the game plan. What can we do? It's 2014. What can we do to accomplish all those things that we set out? Well, I've already told you the first thing you got to do is be active. It says when faced with a circumstance of doing something or doing nothing, always choose to do something, even if you don't know what to do. I'm reminded of the story of Colonel Chamberlain. He served in the militia, in the Northern militia during the Civil War. He later became a governor of Maine. Before he went into the Civil War, he was a school teacher. So he didn't have a war background, know nothing about the war, but he was fighting at a famous place you've heard of called Gettysburg. He was on the Union side, and and the person he reported to was killed. And the person that person reported to was killed, and the person they reported to was killed, so he was in charge, a school teacher from Maine. They were down to about less than 100 soldiers, and the South had just replenished their arms, the South had just replenished their means, and the South had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of soldiers, and they were in a disadvantageous position. And most people talk about Gettysburg being the seminal battle in all of the Civil War. If that battle had been lost, then the rest of the world's trajectory would have happened. It wouldn't have been a South and a North. It would have been a bunch of fragmented states. The U.S. would not have been available to help out in World War II. It would have just been a completely different scenario for the world. So here's what Chamberlain did. He sat there and he realized, if I do nothing, we die. If I do something, maybe we live, maybe we die. So here's what he said. He says, fix bayonets. Fix bayonets. We are going to charge. And because they took action, they completely disgruntled their enemy, and 80 soldiers got 400 armed soldiers to surrender. What kind of action are you taking? So the first B you need to be is active. The next B you need to be is yourself. See, I like this piece where it says there's your passion and your purpose, and right there in the middle is your element. Ken Robinson has a great book out called The Element. And the element is where your aptitude and your desire and your love mesh together. And it's that place in the middle that's you. See, one of the great stories we talk about is perhaps one of the top 5 famous biblical stories, and that's of David and Goliath. David and Goliath. That metaphor has transcended beyond biblical means to all kinds of means. Whenever we're talking about David versus Goliath, remember back in the 80s, Goliath was IBM, and David was Microsoft. Now look how big Microsoft got. Apple was David. Now look how big they gotten. But the reality is that metaphor lets us know it's the little guy versus the big guy. The little guy versus the big guy. And I'm just here to burst your bubble on that notion. That's not true. That's not true. See, in that whole battle, it sets up like this, where Goliath is sitting there at the hill, like Golgotha says, and they're doing a representative war. A representative war means that you're sending your best soldier against their best soldier, and whoever wins that country wins. That's a representative war. So Goliath looks at them taunting and says, "Come and fight me." What he was telling the Israeli army was, I want you to come into my arena and fight my specialties. There's 3 types of soldiers out there. There's the type who's a hand-to-hand combat person. Then there's an artillery person. And then there's a person who rides in the infantry. So the infantry is on the horse. Has a sword, things like that. Then there's the artillery, uses slingshots and bow and arrows. And then there's the person who's in the field, the combat warrior. Goliath was the greatest combat warrior of his time. Obviously, David was not a combat warrior. In fact, they came to David and said, "Here, put all this stuff on and go be a combat warrior." David says, "No, no, no. That's not my arena. That's not my arena. That's not the fight I'm going to fight." And a lot of people out there fighting Goliath on Goliath's terms. Be yourself. What's your element? And because David was himself, because he says, "Look, I've killed the lion. I've killed the bear, not using my hands, but using my slingshot. I'm going to be myself and stay in my lane." So I like that. The next thing you want to do is be yourself. Next thing you want to do is be persistent. Now, we've all seen this before. This is a Family Guy. And I love little Stewie. He's like, Lois, 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 Mom, 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 Mom. And then finally she goes, "What? Are you pursuing your dreams? Are you pursuing your goals? Are you pursuing whatever it is you've got purpose in your heart with that type of annoying persistence? I mean, do you want it bad enough to get on somebody's nerves going after what you feel purpose in your heart to go for? Don't worry about that. You've got to be persistent. What's your DMO? Put it in your lexicon. I need a DMO, a daily method of operation. Because see, there's a goal that I want to achieve. There's a goal that some things I want to have happen in my life. So I need to have a DMO, a daily method of operation. What am I going to do every day? Every day, every day, every day, every day, even on Sundays and Christmas and New Year's Day to achieve that goal. I want to be Stewie. I want to be persistent. I want to be persistent. Next thing you want to be is you want to be ambitious. So you got to get comfortable biting off more than you can chew. See, a lot of people say, keep it real. Temper your expectations. Curb your enthusiasm. No, you need to have what we call, this is my buddy Joseph calls it, a big, hairy, audacious goal. A big, hairy, audacious goal. A BHAG, a BHAG. What's your BHAG? Think about this. I'll give you a little challenge for yourself. Think about a goal that you have for yourself. Maybe let's just use income, because there's a lot of goals you can have. Let's use income. What do you want to make for 2014? Think about that number. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to double it. I want you to double it again. I want you to double it one more again. See, before it got comfortable, you could use again, but now it's uncomfortable. I just need you to double it one more again. Now that it's uncomfortable for you, be bold about it. Write it down. Proclaim it to the world. This is what I'm going to do in 2014. I just set a BHAG, and this is what's going to happen. Be ambitious. So now that we got the game plan, what do we do about ourselves? We've got to think about our own self. It says self-reflection is self-improvement. Self-reflection is self-improvement. You've got to look in the mirror, as my man Michael Jackson, rest in peace, one love, with love. As MJ would say, you've got to look at the man in the mirror and be prepared to do some things. I say start off with personal development. And see, it says once you expand a mind's idea, with the dimensions will never return to its same. That's Oliver Wendell Holmes. Stretch a man's mind. Stretch your mind so that you can see past where you are now and you can't go back. Abraham Lincoln says, if I'm going to chop down a tree, I'll take 6 hours. 4 hours to sharpen the axe and 2 hours to chop the tree. Sharpen your axe. Let's talk about 4 things we can be to make sure we be the best that we can be. The first thing we need to be is committed. See, we're either, when we take on 2013, we decide we're going to do something, we're going to be a participant in 2013. I'm either going to be a chicken or I'm going to be a pig. You're either going to be a chicken or you're going to be a pig. You're either involved in it and you laid the egg and went on about your business, or you're committed to it and gave everything to be a part of that. See, last night about midnight, I cooked some French toast, and I had some bacon and sausage. Not the good kind, because it was still the end of the year. I don't have to start off eating right just yet. But I had some good kind last night. And I had a committed pig. He was done. He said, here's everything. I had an involved egg. You got to decide that you're going to be committed to your goals. Next thing you want to do is be excellent. It says if you're sweeping a street, you should sweep streets as Michelangelo painted paintings, as Beethoven composed symphonies, as Shakespeare wrote poetry. You should sweep a street with such excellence that all hosts of heaven and earth says, wow, now that's a fine street sweeper. Be excellent. You should be tough. See, tough is not about muscle and sinew. It's a place inside of soul and spirit. Tough is where you went down deep and you drew the line. This is my standard. This is where I'm staying. I remind the story of the Montgomery boycott, where there's an elder lady who was walking to work her 4-mile commute, and she was doing this every day, and it was in the 10th month of it. And someone drove by, and they says, I feel bad for her. They says, excuse me, miss, are your feet tired? And she says, my feet are mighty tired, but my soul is rested. That's tough. See, I like Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison. Wasn't a physical abuse because he was mentally tough. The next thing you want to do is be surrounded. I got an email yesterday from Ghostface Killer. Yep, Ghostface Killer. And he says, you got to protect your 5. We are the average, the physical embodiment of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with the most. Who are your 5? If they're broke, if they're going in the wrong direction that you're going for 2014, get a new 5. See, that's the whole thing. You either have to diminish, dismiss, but more important, you got to develop. And you're doing some things right now today by developing your 5. So I'm excited that you came here today to hear from the great Les Brown, Stacey N.C. Grant, Shay and Trevor, Dr. Madeline Lewis. We got powerful, powerful, dynamic people coming up. I'm excited. But a couple of quick things before I get out of here because my time is running out. There's a pop quiz. There's a pop quiz. I want to see if you're prepared to do the number one thing that I talked about doing, and that's take action. See, I'd like to connect with you, and if you can pop this up, I'd love to give you a couple of things. It says, I've got some gifts for you. If you take out your phones right now, your cell phones right now, and text BBBB, that's 4 B's, text BBBB to 38470, I got some goodies for you. Everybody that texts in right now, I'm going to give you a free ebook that I wrote called Live Much Bigger, Much Sooner. Everybody that texts BBBB to 38470, I got a free ebook for you called Live Much Bigger, Much Sooner. But I heard from the great Shay Brown that the universe rewards those that take action differently than those who don't. And so for the first 25 that respond, I'm also going to give you an audio download of a piece that I did called The Uncommon Model. The Uncommon Model. And for the first 10, I'm going to give you a free Kindle version of my #1 bestseller on Amazon of Part-Time Magic, 7 Steps to Increasing Your Worth While Decreasing Your Work. So I got 3 free giveaways, something for everybody, but especially something nice for those who act quickly, with alacrity. So hey, I am Mario Price, the Bowtie Brother bringing brilliance. It has been a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to come before you today and participate in Les Brown's 24 hours of motivation. I'm excited. I see some folks coming up. I got the hook. I hear the siren going. I see Stacey Grant. She got on those shoes and that effort and that outfit. My. How are you doing?
Got to keep up
Thank
with you,
you.
Bowtie Brother. Oh, that was amazing. We need a virtual round of applause.
Good strap, brother. Good strap, brother.
All right, with the Kappa Zetas in the house. Zetas in the house. All my swords are watching.
Scoot down a little bit. There
we'll
you go.
scoot
There you go.
down.
There. He said, "Get the follow." There we go.
Now we know Trevor's going to give some instructions so
Well,
folks
see,
can.
first I had to
let
look
them-
and just kind of see who was out there in the feed. You got to welcome in some new people.
Look at this.
Darrell.
First of all, I had a big old laptop. You didn't let me use.
I
your
wanted to be
iPad.
cool. I wanted to be cool in
I
2014.
had
brother.
this big old thing like this in front of me.
We got Sarah and we got Regina. I'm gonna go ahead and accept them right now into membership, Shay. So I can do it for my iPad, Shay.
Okay.
Oh, you know, they should send us an iPad, a free iPad. We did advertise them.
You did.
But listen, one of the things that we want you guys to do right now, if you're watching live, we're going to do our digital applause. And what is a digital applause? It's your way of basically sharing your appreciation with the speaker today. And the speaker that we just had was none other than the Bowtie Brother bringing brilliance. Did he bring it or did he?
He brought it.
not?
He brought
He
it.
brought it. Now, here's how you can share your thoughts. Here's what we want you to do. The thing that we're going to have you do, we're going to have you do it twice. That's duplicate. We're going to have you do it twice. What we want you to do is I want you to just think about for just a second. What was your one big takeaway from the Bowtie Brother Bringing Brilliance presentation today? Try saying that 3 times fast. Shay. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mario Price. That's much easier to me.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna get it right. BBB.
Right.
BBB.
BBBB, Shay.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
It's the brilliance that makes a difference.
I like that.
Well, what was your one big takeaway? And here's what we want you to do with that one big takeaway. We want you to share it once in the feed, in the private, elusive, exclusive Facebook group, but we also want you to share it on your personal Facebook page. Now, the easy way for you to do it, if you're watching it on our local broadcast here, or if you're watching it live, you can just look at the Facebook icon right above the video. There's a little Facebook icon that says invite your friends, and you see a Facebook icon, and you see a Twitter icon. You just click on that, and you just type in what was your one big takeaway. Now, why are we asking you to do this? Because your one big takeaway could be somebody else's big breakthrough. And that's what it's all about in 2014, helping people break through, overcome, to move through those challenges. And so, what was your one big takeaway? What was your one big takeaway, Shay?
My one big takeaway is what he said toward the end about Nelson Mandela and how you have to still keep going. I thought that was brilliant. I like how you start off as well. So I enjoyed the presentation. Your big takeaway.
Well, the whole presentation was fabulous, but what I
The energy
really
was incredible.
loved, the energy was incredible. I love Stewie. Ma. I felt like I was home for a minute. And that's the same way we need to have that persistence when we're going after our dreams.
indeed.
Don't take no for an answer. Everybody that knows me know, go hard or go home. Nobody has to give you permission to live your dream. God already ordained you to do it. Oh, you better go ahead. Tweet that one out.
You know what my one big takeaway was?
What's that?
What's in your hand? I mean, what's already in your hand? I was like, yeah, what's in my hand? Well, you know what's in her hand? She got a microphone in her hand. I got an iPad.
She said she had a microphone. She wants to know how come she didn't get one of these fancy, smancy things like this. She get this pin on there. You gave her this microphone. She got a hole in her hand.
I love the mic. And
She
the
loved
mic
the
loves
mic.
me.
Let's welcome in Cheryl Ann Harper. Let's welcome in Booker Williams.
Booker Williams,
Let's welcome in Deborah Davis Cromer.
These are the first time for me.
Right?
So many,
Let's
I
welcome
know there's
in
so
Crystal
many folks out here
Foster.
for the
Crystal
very, very
Foster.
first time, Stacey.
Mel Collins.
And the best is still yet
Mel
to what?
Collins, my Mel Collins.
Mel
That's
Collins.
from New York.
Mel
That's
Collins
my
is
Mel.
yours. You join in.
Darrell
Soros.
McEwen.
All right.
They are here.
Sarah Matrix Monet Gale. Why they got some long names in here? Shit. They got some long
Deborah
names.
Davis Cromer. They got. And first of all, your iPad's like going slow. What is going on? With
Hey,
that?
don't
You
talk
have
about my iPad.
You have to refresh on that. Now,
Well, we got Regina Jordan Young. She says I'm fast enough. Shay. Regina Young says I'm fast
you had her
enough.
name 3 times.
Well,
I
what's
can't
it?
pronounce it.
Gurleen Jasmine.
No, but
Gurleen.
he knows. The brother can.
Both our brother bringing the big
Gurleen
bricks.
Jasmine.
You know.
That's Haitian name.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what's
okay.
like I said.
Oh, he got some brilliance.
Not that I
He-
ever
he
shout
got
out
some
to all of
brilliance.
my Haitian. Isn't this an Independence Day for the Haitian community?
Every day is Independence Day for people
Yeah,
who
but I saw
declare it.
someone post.
Today is not Independence Day.
Started.
Put it in the feed.
Jason, we done got him started.
He can come on, got the off his head. Boom.
He is truly the bow tie brother bringing brilliance.
Well,
Let's
I know
shout out
we
some
have-
people. We got Shashina Gibbs out there holding.
Shashina from New York, New York.
Right.
Nothing
We
wrong,
got
my
Puddin',
girl.
blessed by the best. She said her big takeaway was daily method of operation. By the way, big shout out to, what's that? Tasha Gilmore.
Tasha Gilmore,
Right. Cindy Freeland says hers was triple your goals.
She said triple your goal.
Let's see what else we got there.
Well, you going kind of slow. Him and
Robin
Joe-
Rogers.
Robin Roberts says, okay, got Amani says big
Who's Amani?
goals.
Oh, Amani. Okay.
Amani in my head, I can't pronounce. BB
Yeah, just show
takeaway.
it, just show it.
You don't need faith to do what you are called to do. You need
I bet you
belief.
get the name right.
A lot of times we say we are standing in faith, and we do stand, but we don't take action on. Give a shout out to Evelyn. You can read that, Mario. I mean, we're trying to.
He has the
We're
glasses
we're
on.
trying to get to all of you.
It's
We want
Evelyn
to
the
get to all
Yoke
of you.
Breaker. The Yoke Breaker.
The yoke.
Walker.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
All right.
No,
Go,
but I do
Evelyn.
now. Hey, Evelyn,
Hey, Evelyn.
friend me on Facebook.
Hey, wait a minute. I want some friends too. I want some friends too. What about some shade?
Actually, Mario's actually Bowtie Brother bringing brilliance is actually in. He will be in the Facebook.
Yeah, he's
private
going to go
group.
over to the private Facebook group now and start talking to some of the people there.
Yes, and so you're going to see him in a few minutes as well. Okay, so who we have coming up?
Shay, well, look,
Oh, wow.
we have High Trend coming. Listen, I'm going to tell you.
So she's already queued up.
And I'm going to tell you, oh, Lord, she just got, I don't even want to, I can't say
Hold on,
nothing.
Trevor. You can't.
I can't even talk to
She's
her about it.
all right.
She's
Well,
like, yeah.
late.
Oh, she's
Trevor
on-
doesn't follow the instructions, but we're gonna work. We're gonna pray. We're gonna lay hands on him today. But
I see him right there. huh?
Well, I tell you one thing, she has an amazing story.
She's there and there.
there she is. She's everywhere.
She's there.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, I love it. Well, let me tell you, Hartran is one of Les Brown's platinum speakers.
Media
Hub
training.
for Hope. She is incredible. Nothing is impossible. When you listen to the story that Hartran is about to share, all excuses are removed. So if you're sitting there thinking about things that will prevent you from being like our Bowtie Brother or Che or Trevor, let me tell you something. Hartran has a message for you today that will eliminate any excuse that you have, because nothing is impossible. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to take my seat and listen to Hartran. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, he said give it another minute. I think he has to get her.
Okay, well, we
cues
got
right back
Trudy,
up.
Trudy
Who's there?
Spencer, Pamela
Oh,
Williams,
Trudy Spencer. Hey,
E.
Trudy.
Marie,
Are these like all your
Friends
friends?
that-
All her friends come
wait,
today.
Errol Barrett, he's in the house.
Errol Barrett, welcome,
Wait a
Errol
minute,
Barrett.
we got some Shay and Trevor friends out there. Any Shay and Trevor friends out there?
All the Stacey friends.
Where's
It's
our
all right.
friends? Come on,
It's all right.
shout. If you're in the group, you're a Shay and Trevor friend. Go and say, we out there, we out there.
1 against 3, and we're still outnumbered.
Shaquala Carey. Shaquilla Carey.
And-
you butchering the names, they're not going to be your friend.
Yeah, let me get-
Levanta Minor.
Levanta Minor. Welcome all of you for the very first time. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing this feed out. The next speaker is in the queue. She'll be coming up in just a
Now,
second. We're going to bring her in.
Yep, and then Shay,
Soon as we get
right
the-
around about the
the
noon hour, we're going to have our social media flash mob.
Don't tell. Why you always got to tell us before that?
But they don't even know what a social media flash mob because I invented it.
Okay,
it's
all
only
right,
it's only a few
okay.
people that even know what it is, Shay.
Okay.
It's
They
the
have to be
Shay
here.
family.
They have to be here. Hang in there. We got some great stuff coming up. Glenn, give us the cue whenever you have the cue.
Hey,